Welcome to Whiteboard Programming, where we simplify programming with easy to understand whiteboard videos. And today I'll be sharing with you what is tokenomics. So let's get started. First off, what is tokenomics? Well, tokenomics consists of two words, token and economics, and is also called as cryptoeconomics. It is defined as the quality of a token which will convince a user or an investor to adopt it, and helps in building the ecosystem around the underlying project of that token. But you must be wondering now, hey, what do you mean by quality? Well, to put it simply, anything which impacts the token's value is a part of tokenomics. And you can say that tokenomics is a pretty broad subject and includes a variety of components. And the primary one to consider is that how the nature of such commercial differs from traditional industrial economies, as its characteristics are decentralized, require very little capital to scale, and offer significant security of transactions. But hey, what is a token? Well, in real life, a token is a thing which serves as a visible or tangible representation of a fact, quality, or feeling. To be more clear, you can even say that you're having empty pocket right now and you will still stumble across real life tokens. For example, your gym membership card is a token that represents the fact that you have subscribed to a gym. Your driving license is a token which represents the fact that you have taken training required to drive in your country. Your hotel key card shows that you have paid the hotel for your room. Similarly, in cryptoverse, a token is a representation of something in its particular ecosystem. It could be value, stake, voting right, or anything. And just note that a token is not limited to one specific role and can fulfill a lot of roles in its native ecosystem. And furthermore, broadly, you can say that a token represents an asset or utility that a company has, and they will usually give it away to their investors during a public sale. Next, let's have a quick comparison between tokens versus cryptocurrencies. Well, the biggest difference between the two is that cryptocurrencies have their own blockchains, whereas crypto tokens are built on an existing blockchain. Also, do note that cryptocurrencies are built keeping in mind the monetary benefit, whereas many tokens are created without the intent to represent money or monetary value at all. Moving further, it's time to discuss the types of token we can use to best suit our possible requirements. For this, we need to understand several categories into which we can differentiate the tokens, and as it's pretty vast topic, I'll only be mentioning a few important ones in this video. Number 1, Layer 1 versus Layer 2. Here, Layer 1 is the underline or the main blockchain. That is, the token which powers this blockchain is the Layer 1 token. And Layer 2 is the decentralized app or ICO built on top of the underlying blockchain. Confused? Let's take an example to better understand it. Omisgo is a project that is built on top of Ethereum blockchain. In this case, Ethereum is Layer 1 and is powered by the Ether, the Layer 1 token. And Omisgo is Layer 2 and is powered by OMG, that is the Layer 2 token. Here, you'll notice that the well-being of Layer 2 application is completely dependent on the overall well-being of Layer 1. If there are some issues with the Layer 1 blockchain, that is, for example, a hack or a bug, it's going to affect the overall well-being of Layer 2 as well. While there are many projects that are working on making Layer 1 and Layer 2 as independent as possible, but if you yourself think on a more practical level, it would be a lie to suggest that these two have no connection whatsoever. Now, if a Layer 2 application is doing well, then it reflects positively on Layer 1 as well. As such, many Layer 1 projects try their best to attract as many developers as possible to their platform. So, as a conclusion, we can say that higher the quality of Layer 2 application, better will be the value of Layer 1 network. Number 2, original chain versus forked chain. This second category is mostly about Layer 1 protocols, which is to differentiate whether the protocol is original or has it been forked off some other protocol. For example, Bitcoin and Ethereum are examples of original protocols, while Zcash, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin are all examples of forked chain since they have been forked from the main Bitcoin protocol. I'll recommend you to watch my video on blockchain forking to better understand this concept. The link for the same is given in the description below. Next, number 3, utility versus security. Because most of the ICOs are investment opportunities in the company itself, most tokens qualify as securities. However, if the token doesn't qualify as a Howey test, then it is classified as a utility token. These tokens simply provide users with a product and or a service, and you can more of think of them like a gateway token. To state broadly, utility tokens have the following properties. Number 1, they give holders a right to use the network. Number 2, they give the holders the right to take advantage of the network by voting. Number 3, since there is an upper cap on the maximum token availability, the value of the tokens may go up because of the supply-demand equation. On the other hand, a crypto token that passes the Howey test is deemed to be a security token. These usually derive their value from an external tradable asset, and because of these tokens are deemed as a security, they are subjected to federal securities and regulations. And lastly, do note that if the ICO doesn't follow the regulations, then they could be subjected to penalties. Number 4. Fungible versus non-fungible. To state, tokens may be fungible, that is, they can have interchangeability of units of a commodity with other units of the same commodity, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, or non-fungible, which on the other hand are unique and thus cannot be interchanged. ID cards or gym membership cards are examples of non-fungible tokens. Further, you must understand that tokenomics is evolving with innovation in tokens, and thus there is a growing number of tokens with more refined properties. These tokens, apart from the classification we just discussed, can be based on the following factors. Number 1, rights, where tokens may give the holder property rights or give the holder access rights. Number 2, durability, wherein tokens can remain stable in the face of censorship or attacks. Number 3, regulatory, wherein tokens are easy to classify and regulate. Number 4, purpose, wherein tokens are created to serve as a proof of behavior or value creation or to represent existing asset or access right. Number 5, supply, wherein we offer a fixed supply of token or sometimes unlimited. Number 6, token flow, wherein tokens can be generated linearly and destroyed after use or remain in circulation. Last but not the least, temporal, wherein tokens may or may not have an expiration date. Next, let's discuss about what makes tokenomics different. Having briefly understood what tokenomics is, let's now explore why it is fundamentally different from the economics we generally operate in. In the modern economy, economic forces that govern our lives have over time become increasingly channeled by a few centralized bureaucratic institutions. With the access of internet and distributed ledger, the sources of various kinds including financial capital, supply chain, information, etc. are now flowing through these informational networks. And quite similarly, development in blockchain provides secure and reliable way to model token economies to reflect better markets and serve as underlying logic in the face of new technologies. Some of the applications of token economics are as follows. Number 1, it offers full cost accounting, wherein tokens can be coded to reflect both economic and social cost while accounting. For example, one can code into price of diamond that are sourced ethically versus the ones that are not. Number 2, there's better alignment of producer and consumer. With token-based economies, one can bypass big enterprises that may not align with consumers' value. This can be done by replacing organizations with token-based blockchain networks, wherein producers and consumers can find each other for their specific needs and bypass a bigger platform. This primarily replaces the big businesses with community-based solutions, and due to such a solution, as the network scales, the profits don't get sucked by big centralized management but are instead distributed throughout the network's token holders. Number 3, they offer triple entry accounting. Those who don't know about this, it is a method of proposed enhancement of double entry bookkeeping by simply cryptographically sealing all entries dealing with an outside party with a third entity in the system. This third entity is the blockchain where these entries are posted as both receipts and transactions. This, if used well, easily replaces the administrative cost of auditing complex organizations. Number 4, incentive systems. With tokenomics built on blockchain protocols, tokenization will become a reward for an increasing array of transactions. That is, every source of value can be tokenized to build microeconomics that aligns individuals' incentive with the goal of growth of the ecosystem. Further, let's talk about investment and tokenomics. Now, with the great number of projects funding themselves using ICOs, it has become important for investors to develop tools to analyze the viability of their investment opportunities, and as an investor, here are the factors that you may consider in assessing a token project as well. First, the team. You must check the credentials and reliability of the team that is behind the project. Next, business model. How robust is the business model they are offering, as the complexity of tokens scales from simple payment mechanisms to the greater ones. Next, PR and branding. How well the project is being mobilized to the community, because in the end, community matters. Next, legality. Now, legality around tokens still remain in the dark in many jurisdictions, and thus projects need a good legal team to make sure that the project stands good on the legal grounds. Next, token structure. This is very important, and you must understand the technical aspect of the nature of the token which is being developed or distributed. Lastly, to conclude, we can say that tokenomics as a field is still in its infancy, and considering that it changes a lot of foundational cornerstones of the current world economy, there's a lot to be explored. Along with the wider adoption of tokens, many organizations are developing more complex and specific use cases every day. With that, I hope this video was helpful to you and served value. If you love my content, feel free to smash that like button, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do, as it keeps me motivated and helps me create more content like this for you.